You're clinging to her letters like they're oxygen, but she married Y.O. our brother, Derek!
I didn't lose her, I lost myself when I believed she was still waiting.
After listening, please subscribe, hit the like button, and leave a comment before we continue. Sand. It's everywhere. In my boots, in my pockets, in my hair, even in my thoughts. At dawn, when I wake up, I can feel it crunch between my teeth as I try to swallow a sip of bad coffee from a metal mug. The sun over Fallujah has not risen yet, but it is already pressing down with a warning another day when the air smells like diesel, gunpowder, and fear. I sit on the edge of my cot in our cramped barracks, holding a yellowed envelope. It is her last letter. She writes about the rain drumming on the roof of their little apartment in Oregon, about how she bought a new dress the color of the lake by our town. I picture her in that dress, spinning in front of a mirror, laughing. Her laugh is the only thing I can still remember without pain. But here in this hell, even the memory of her voice feels far away, like a radio signal that crackles and fades. The bass hums like an angry hive. Helicopters thrum overhead, their rotors slicing the air like knives. Somewhere nearby, Sergeant Crow is bawling at the new guys who stacked the sandbags wrong. I tune it out. My fingers unfold the letter carefully, like it is a sacred relic. Her handwriting neat, with little curls on the ends of letters, takes me back to evenings on the porch, sipping cold lemonade and talking about our wedding. Derek, she writes, yesterday I had a latte at our favorite cafe. It smelled like cinnamon, and I thought of you. You will come back, right? I am waiting. I read those words again and again, and every time they hit my chest like a bullet. I will come back, I promised. But here, where any day can be the last, promises feel as fragile as glass. Hey, Derek, you with that letter again? Ray's voice yanks me out of it. He stands in the doorway with his rifle, chewing gum. Dust cakes his face, but his eyes still spark with that dumb confidence he always carries. Ray is my best friend out here, the only one who can crack a joke when everyone else is quiet with fear. You jealous? I say, slipping the letter into my pocket. I do not want him to see my hands shake. Go make sure your tank hasn't melted in the heat. He laughs, but the laugh is hollow, like everything here. A tank? It is tougher than your romantic soul, brother. Listen, Crow says we might roll out on patrol today. Gear up, it is going to be fun. Fun is a joke here. Patrol means hours in an armored truck, sweat running down your back while your eyes search every roadside shadow for a bomb. Last week, we lost 2 guys from 3rd Squad. I did not know them well, but I watched their stuff get carried out of the barracks. An empty cot is the worst. It screams that tomorrow it could be mine. I nod to Ray and stand, checking my gear. Rifle, plate carrier, helmet, everything where it should be. But my head is full of her words. You will come back, right? I do not know, Emily. I do not know. The day drags like forever. We roll out on patrol, and I sit by the window staring into the shimmering landscape. Sand, rock, shattered houses. Sometimes I see locals, women in black headscarves, kids chasing our truck yelling things I do not understand. I do not know if they are cursing us or asking for food. The language is as foreign as this world. Ray, next to me, tells some dumb story about stealing a pie from a teacher in high school. I nod, but I am not listening. My mind is back in rainy Oregon, where Emily is probably curled up with a book under a blanket. By the time we hit the gate, the sun is dropping, painting the sky a bloody red. I check the mailbox, a dented metal cabinet by the command shack. Nothing, no letter. My chest tightens, but I tell myself it is fine. Maybe the mail is late. Maybe she is busy. Still, the worry grows inside me like a weed pushing through cracked asphalt. Derek, you look like you lost your best friend, Ray throws over dinner. The food, a formless lump they call stew, sticks in my throat. I force it down so he will not start in on me. Just tired, I lie. Why are you so cheerful? Forget we are back on patrol tomorrow. He shrugs. If you do not laugh, you go nuts. You know that. It is either your girl's letters or my jokes. Pick one. I manage a crooked smile. Ray does not know there have been no letters for a week. I do not tell him. I do not want him to see that I am afraid. not of blasts or bullets, but of silence. The silence that settles when the letters stop. Night drops on the base, and I lie on my cot listening to someone snore in the corner. The helicopters are quiet, but the silence here does not calm you. It sits heavy, like a vest pressing on your chest. I pull out her last letter and read it again. I am waiting. Those words are my anchor, my promise. But what if she stopped writing? What if she got tired of waiting? I shut my eyes and try to picture her face, but all I see is sand. Sand and smoke. Next day the same. Patrol, heat, dust. And an empty mailbox. I start counting the days. 7, 8, 9. Every day without a letter feels like one step closer to a cliff. I write to her anyway, even though I know a reply will not come soon. Emily, I write, it is the same here. Sand, smoke, and me. I think about you every day. Please write. I need your words. I slide the letter into an envelope, then do not send it. Something in me is afraid it will come back stamped, no such addressee. Derek, you with us? Crow's voice cuts in. He looms over me with a tablet and a map. We roll long range tomorrow. It is going to be hot. Do not sleep. I nod, but my head only holds one question. Why is she not writing? Did I do something? Did she meet someone? Or did she just forget what rain smells like when you are far from home? I look at my rifle on the bench and think, it is more reliable than my thoughts, but it cannot give me her voice. Silence is worse than explosions, worse than sand, worse than anything. I lay a hand on my pocket where her last letter rests and promise myself, I will come home. I have to. But first her words. They have to come. They must. 2 months. 64 days. I no longer count hours. Time here stretches like softened asphalt under an Iraqi sun. Every day is the same. Dust, heat, orders, gunfire. The worst is the mailbox. It sits by the HQ, paint peeling, corners rusted, like it is mocking me. Other guys grab envelopes, packages, goofy cards from aunties that say things like, hang in there, hero. I walk away empty-handed. Again and again. My fingers shake opening that damned cabinet, and every time it is empty, I feel like someone tears a chunk out of my heart. Emily, where are you? Why are you silent? Ray does his usual routine, trying to break the tension. Today, he sits across from me in the chow hall, holding a piece of bread that feels more like a rock. His eyes shine, but I see something new in them pity he is trying hard not to show. Derek, you look like a tank ran over your foot, he says, chewing. Maybe you write to her yourself. Take the initiative, like on the battlefield. I stare but say nothing. What can I say? That I have already sent 5 letters and got nothing back. That I am starting to forget the sound of her voice. I shrug and pretend to focus on the mystery mush on my tray. Ray does not quit. Maybe she is just busy, man. Girls have their things, dresses, flowers, all that. My sister ghosted me for 3 months when she started a new job. Then she mailed me a whole box of cookies. You want her address? She will bake you some. He winks, trying to haul me out of the hole. It does not work. She will bake me cookies out of sand, I mutter. He barks a laugh and claps my shoulder, but it dies fast, like a campfire in rain. He knows something is off. Everyone does. Even Sergeant Crow, who usually sees nothing but our screw-ups, looked at me sideways yesterday when I lingered too long at the mailbox. Nights are the worst. When the base settles and the rotors stop, the silence turns into an enemy. It crawls into your head like that damned sand and starts picking at your thoughts. I lie on the cot, stare at the ceiling, the cracks shaped like rivers on an Oregon map. Her last letter spins in my head, the one from 2 months ago. I know every word, every comma. Derek, I planted flowers by the house. They make me think of you strong, but needing care. I am waiting. I pull the letter out, but do not open it. Instead, I take a blank page and start copying her words by hand. My handwriting is rough, the letters crooked, but I write like it might conjure her voice. I am waiting. I write it again and again until my hand aches. Then I do something I have never done. I strike a match, touch it to the page. Paper flares, the flame licks the words I loved. I watch them burn and feel something crack inside me. It is not just paper, it is hope. But I cannot afford to cling to it if she will not write. I cannot keep believing in something that may be gone. You setting off fireworks? Jackson, our radio man, calls from the dark. He is on the next cot. I hear him roll to look. You good, Derek? I am fine, I say, though my voice shakes. Just ditching junk. He goes quiet, but I know he does not buy it. Jackson is a quiet kid, but nothing slips past him. Last week, he got a letter from his mom, and I watched him smile while he read it. I am not jealous, maybe a little. I cannot hate him for having what I do not. A week later, everything changes. We push out on a long-range patrol, the kind where you know you might not make it back. The air is thick with tension, and the road looks like it was laid straight through hell. I grip my rifle until my knuckles go white. Ray, as always, never stops talking. Got a plan, he yells over the engine. When we get back, we open a bar. Call it Sand and Beer. Serve cocktails with sand for authenticity. You are insane, I say, and for the first time in a long time, I smile for real. Who drinks sand cocktails? Everybody, it is Iraq, brother. Sand is the brand. He laughs, and I almost forget where we are. Then I hear the crackle of gunfire. It happens fast. A round detonates up ahead, and our truck slams the brakes. Crow roars over the net, ordering us out to take positions. I see Jackson go down, clutching his shoulder. Blood pours through his fingers, and I do not think I just run. Rounds snap overhead, but I grab his plate carrier and drag him behind a chunk of wall. He is heavy, but adrenaline makes me stronger. I scream for a medic and clamp his wound, trying to stop the bleeding. Jackson looks at me, eyes wide with fear, and whispers, "Derek, thanks." I do not answer. I cannot. I have one thought. He is not dying. Not today. Not here. The medic hits us within minutes, and I back off as they work on Jackson. Something warm runs down my leg. I look and see blood. Mine. A fragment must have nicked me when I pulled him. I do not feel pain yet, but the world starts to blur. I wake up in a field hospital. The ceiling is white, but its cracks remind me of the base. Morphine turns everything soft, like I am floating in warm water. A young doctor with tired eyes says I am lucky. The fragment ripped my thigh, but missed the artery. I nod, not really listening. I am thinking about Emily, how she would sit by me holding my hand. But she is not here, and there are no letters. You are a hero, the doc says, checking my dressings. That kid you dragged is going to make it because of you. I am not a hero, I say quietly. I did my job. He looks at me and lets it go. I guess he has seen 100 guys like me, men clinging to something that might not exist anymore. Time in the hospital moves even slower than on base. I stare at the ceiling and whisper her name. Emily, Emily, Emily. It feels like a prayer, but I do not know if anyone is listening. Maybe God stopped answering too. Ray swings by with a warm soda he probably lifted from somewhere. You look like you got run over by a tank, he says, perching on the bed. But hey, Jackson says you owe him now. Says you have to hear his boring fishing stories. I try to smile. Tell him I will think about it. Ray goes quiet, and I know he is about to say something real. He rarely does, and when he does, it hurts. Derek, he starts, staring at the floor. You cannot live inside those letters forever. Maybe it is time to let go. I look at him, and something clamps my chest. Let go? How do I let go of the only thing holding me together? The only thing reminding me who I was before this place? I do not answer. He does not push. He squeezes my shoulder and leaves. Nights in the hospital are quiet, but a different quiet. It does not suffocate like the base, and it does not soothe either. I lie there holding her old letter, the one I did not burn. I do not read it. I just hold it, like that could bring her back. The truth is, I do not know if I can come back myself. Not to the base or the war to me. to the Derek who laughed with Emily on the porch, promised her everything, and believed promises could be kept. When they discharge me, I head back to the base. The mailbox is still empty. I stand in front of it with one thought spinning. What if she is not waiting anymore? What if I lost her for good? I touch the pocket where her letter rests and make myself a promise. I will survive. Not for the war. Not for medals. For her. Even if she is silent. The rain comes down like a torn open cloud. Drops hammer the pavement and pool into mirrors of the Oregon sky. I stand at the train station with an old duffel bag and breathe air that smells like wet earth and pine. This is not Iraq. No sand grinding in your lungs, no rotor thrum, no blasts. But somehow I feel more lost than I did there. My leg aches where the fragment left its scar, but I ignore it. I am home, or so I thought. I did not tell Emily I was coming. I wanted to surprise her. In my head, like some old movie, I knock, she throws herself at me, her hair smelling like lavender shampoo, and we laugh like 2 years of war just washed away in the rain. But as I walk the street, we know every rattling fence, every crooked lamp, a memory something sharp tightens in my chest. A bad feeling, clean as a blade. I see her house small, green paint faded, flowers in pots on the porch. A black pickup sits at the curb. I know that truck. It belongs to my brother, Travis. I stop. Rain runs off my jacket and into my boots, and I do not move. My heart thumps like I am back on patrol with a round popping nearby. This cannot be real. Travis was the one who looked after things while I was in Iraq. He wrote short letters fishing, fixing her fence. I thought he was a good brother. Now his truck sits here like a condemnation, like a bullet to the soul. I walk to the door. Each step takes forever. My hand shakes as I knock. Once, twice, 3 times. The door opens, and there is Travis. Hair mussed, top button undone, eyes full of surprise and guilt. He did not expect me, and the worst her. Emily stands behind him in a white dress that clings like a memory of the day we planned our wedding. A ring flashes on her finger. Not mine. His. Derek. Her voice shakes, but there is no joy in it, only regret. You did not say you were coming back. I do not answer. I cannot. My eyes are glued to her hand, to the piece of metal that was supposed to be mine. Travis steps forward like he is about to speak, but I look at him and he shuts up. I see something new there, not the carefree brother from his letters. A man who took everything I had. What the hell, Travis? My voice scrapes like I have been shouting for hours. You are my brother. He opens his mouth, nothing comes out. Emily touches his shoulder, and that simple move is a knife. She is choosing him, right in front of me. Derek, come in, she says softly. Let us talk, not out here in the rain. Talk, I laugh, and it tastes like cheap whiskey. About what, Emily? How you dropped me while I was bleeding out over there, or how my own brother stuck a knife in my back. Travis takes another step, face flushing. Do not start, Derek. You do not know how it happened. I do not, my voice rises, and the rain seems to fall harder, drowning everything but my anger. I was in hell, Travis. I gripped her letters like a lifeline. And what were you doing? Filling my spot. He clenches his fists, his jaw tight. You were gone, Derek, for 2 years. You think time stood still? You think she could live on memories? I snap. My bag hits the wet porch, and I grab his shirt, slam him into the wall. My hands shake, not from cold, from rage, burning like molten metal. You son of a, I hiss, fist cocked, but Emily screams. Derek, stop! Her voice cuts like lightning. I freeze, but I do not let him go. His eyes are blazing, and I know he is ready to swing. Let him go, she says, tears in her voice. This is not his fault. I let my fingers loosen, but I do not step back. He straightens his shirt without breaking eye contact. We stand like 2 wolves ready to tear each other apart. Emily steps onto the porch. Her dress soaks through. She looks like she wants to speak, but the words stick. You were too far away, Derek, she whispers at last. I could not wait forever. I tried. I wrote to you. But you were there, and I was here, alone. Alone, my eyes sting, and it is not the rain. I held on to your words, Emily. Every letter was air to me, and then you just stopped. You did not even tell me it was over. She drops her gaze, her shoulders tremble. I did not know how. I was afraid you would break. Break? I am almost shouting. I survived bullets, blasts, the deaths of friends, but this might be the thing I cannot take. Travis moves in again, no longer holding back. Enough, Derek. You think you were the only one hurting? You think it was easy here? She cried every night you did not write back. I was there. I held her up. And yeah, I fell in love with her. I am not sorry. That is the last straw. My fist flies before I can think. It catches his jaw, and he staggers into the doorframe. Emily screams, but I do not hear. Blood roars in my ears, and I dive on him again. We crash onto the wet porch. His punch thuds into my ribs. Pain flares, fueling the fury. I hit him again. And again. He does not fold. We roll in the mud, rain mixing with blood, Emily begging us to stop. Derek, Travis, stop, she pleads, voice breaking. We do not listen. I grab his throat, he twists free and shoves me into a puddle. My back slams the ground, and for a second I see only the sky gray, cold, indifferent. He gets to his feet, chest heaving, lip split, eyes locked on mine. You want to kill me, Derek? Do it. It will not change a thing. I lie there, rain running down my face, mixing with the blood from my busted nose. Emily stands over us, dress glued to her, eyes flooded. She does not reach for me. She does not reach for him. She stands stuck between two worlds. I push up, swaying. My bag lies in the mud. I lift it without looking at them. You are right, Emily, I say quietly. I was too far away. But you did not even try. I turn and walk. The rain drowns their voices if they say anything. My boots slap through puddles and a hollow grows in my chest, worse than any blast I ever felt. I do not know where I am going. Maybe the old bridge where we once kissed under the stars. Maybe nowhere. That night I get a cheap motel at the edge of town. The smell of mildew and old carpet chokes, but I do not care. I sit on the floor, pull out my bag, and lay out her letters. The paper is yellowed, corners bent. I open them one by one. Her words about rain, coffee, flowers come alive in my head. For a minute, it feels like she is still mine. Then I see her in that dress with his ring on her finger, and the words go flat. I find an old wooden box I bought back in school for trinkets. It smells like varnish and memories. I stack the letters carefully, like they are fragile relics. Every envelope is a piece of my heart I left in Iraq. I do not burn them like I did in the barracks. I close the lid and put it at the bottom of my bag. Maybe one day I will open it again. Maybe never. I lie on the bed without undressing. Rain taps the window. I think about how home is not a place. It is people, and my people are not waiting for me anymore. I close my eyes and see her face, but it is not mine now. Maybe it never was. 4 months have passed since I left Emily and Travis on that porch in the rain. 4 months drifting from construction job to construction job, the smell of fresh sawdust and the rhythm of hammers drowning out my thoughts. I tried not to think about her, about them, but Oregon is a small place, and rumors travel faster than birds. A wedding. Today, I found out by accident getting coffee at our old cafe. Old Joe, the bartender, tossed it off. You heard, Emily is marrying your brother. His words hit like a nail driven home, but I just nodded and walked out with a cup searing my fingers. I was not going to go. I was not going to watch her in a white dress or stand in the shadow of their happiness. But something in me broke. I had to. Not for them. For me. I stand in the motel's small mirror checking a dark suit I bought half price at a thrift store. The sleeves are a little short, but I do not care. I have not shaved. The stubble makes my face look like a stranger's. In my hands is the wooden box with her letters. It weighs more than it looks, like it is filled not with paper, but with all my memories pressed into something hard and cold. I run my fingers over the carved lid, feeling the roughness. This is my last gesture, my period at the end. I walk to the church. An autumn wind tugs at my coat, pushes leaves across the bricks, each step echoing in my chest like a shot. The church sits on a hill, white walls shining in the dull light. Cars line the road, flowers flank the doorway, people in their best laugh and hug. The wedding march floats inside light and formal, but to me it is the distant buzz of rotors. I am not invited. This is not their day. It is mine. When I open the door, it creaks and heads turn. Eyes stick into me like pins, but I keep going. The aisle is trimmed with white ribbons and roses. Their scent mixes with candle wax. Emily stands at the altar, a white dress flowing like fog over a lake. She is beautiful, but I cannot look for long. Travis stands beside her in a tux with a smile that looks too polished. My mother sits in the front pew. Her eyes narrow when she sees me. She rises like she might step in, but I do not meet her gaze. I look only at the box in my hands. Whispers die. The organ stops. The silence grows thick enough to hear my heartbeat. Emily turns and our eyes meet. There is no surprise in hers, only pain she worked hard to hide. Travis moves as if to block me, but stops when he sees the box. "Derek," Emily whispers. Her voice snaps like a thin twig. "What are you doing?" I do not answer. I walk toward them, slow, each step another fight in Fallujah. Faces freeze around me, shock, curiosity. I hear, "That is his brother. He just came back from the war. God, what is he doing?" I do not care. I stop at the gift table, crystal flutes, envelopes of cash, boxes tied with ribbons. I set my wooden box right in the middle. It looks out of place among the shine, like I do among these people. "This is your past," I say, looking at her first, then at him. My voice is low, steady. "It belongs to you now." I turn and walk out. No one stops me, not even my mother, who stands clutching a handkerchief. I hear Emily whisper something to Travis, but I cannot make it out. The door closes behind me, and the march swells again, just noise to me. Outside, the wind hisses cold and sharp, as if it could scrub the day off my skin. I go down the hill, each step lighter than the last. I left it all behind, everything that held me hostage. But the past does not let go clean. Footsteps slap behind me, and Travis's voice cracks the air like a shot. "Derek, stop, damn it." I stop but do not turn. He catches up, breath ragged, tucks a little rumpled. In his eyes I see anger mixed with something I cannot name. Shame, maybe. Fear, maybe. "What the hell was that?" he nearly shouts, throwing his hands. "You came to ruin our day, to hurt her." I face him, my fists ball on their own. "Ruin it," I laugh, and it grinds like metal. "You think I am the one hurting her? You stole her, Travis, my brother, my blood, and now you stand here and accuse me." He steps closer, his jaw tightens. "You were not here, Derek. You left her. You went to your damn war, and she was alone. You want to know why she stopped writing. She was afraid you would not come back. Afraid one day a letter would show up with your name and the word deceased." His words hit like shrapnel. I want to tell him I fought for her, for us, but my throat closes. Instead I say, "So you decided to fill my place? Figured I would not come home and you could take what you wanted." He shakes his head, eyes bright with anger. "That is not how it happened, and you know it. I did not plan it. But I was there when she cried. I was there when she did not know if you were alive. Where were you, Derek? Inside your letters?" I snap again. My fist is faster than thought, smashing his cheekbone. He stumbles, but does not fall. He grabs my collar, and we collapse into the wet grass. The wind whistles, and our fists land with dull thuds. His shot catches a rib. Pain spreads hot and thick. I do not stop. I tag him again. His blood streaks the dirt. "You son of a," I yell, but the wind eats it. He twists, pins me, raises his fist, and stops. His wild eyes suddenly empty. Enough, Derek, he rasps, letting me go. Enough. I lie on my back, dragging in cold air. The grass is wet. It clings to my suit. He stands, swiping at the blood on his face. He does not look like a winner. He looks like a man who just lost something that mattered. You think I do not know I lost my brother, he says quietly. You think it is easy to live with that? I do not answer. I get up, swaying, and look at him. My brother, my enemy. I do not know what he is now. I turn and walk away, leaving him in the wind. The church behind us swells with music again, but all I hear is leaves shivering on branches. That night I sit in the motel with a bottle of whiskey I bought on the way. I do not drink. I just hold it like it might tell me something. On the table lies a photo old and faded of me and Emily laughing at a picnic. Her hair blown by the wind, my hand holding hers like she would never leave. I slip the photo into my pocket near a heart that does not beat the way it used to. Half a year shoots by like a round past your ear fast, almost unnoticed, but close enough to feel. I rent a trailer on the edge of town where the smell of pine mixes with the exhaust of old pickups. My routine runs like clockwork. Up at 5, coffee that tastes more like metal than beans, a drive to the range where I teach young guys to hold a rifle like it is an extension of their arm. Then weapons checks, the smell of oil and hot steel, and back to the trailer where I fall asleep to an ancient fan's drone. I do not talk about the past. Not to anyone, not even to myself. The trailer is not a home. It is a hiding place. The walls are scuffed, the carpet stained in ways I do not bother with. The only things that are mine, an old wooden shelf with a coffee can full of screws and nails and a small photo. Me and Emily before Iraq, laughing on a pier, fishing rods in hand. I do not look often. But sometimes when the night gets too quiet, I pick it up and feel an invisible hand squeeze my chest. I do not hold a grudge, just pain. It is part of me, like the scar on my thigh. The range saves me. There I can be useful without thinking too much. The kids I train are young, with eyes full of fire and the dumb certainty that war is an adventure. I do not ruin it for them. I show them how to hold a weapon, how to move under imaginary fire, how to listen to orders instead of fear. Sometimes I see myself in them, the Derek who believed in heroics. I do not tell them the truth. I do not tell them war is not medals. It is empty cots and letters that stop coming. One day, the vet center calls me in. Annual checkup I have blown off for months. I hate those places, they smell like meds and pity. I go because the range sergeant, an old grouch named Harry, threatened to pull me if I skipped again. The center is a gray box with a faded flag. Inside, the AC hums and the walls are lined with posters that say things like, "You are not alone." I sit in the hall with a paper cup of water, waiting my turn. That is where I first see Lena. She comes out of a room with a tablet in her hand, moving easy but sure. Her hair, the color of dark honey, is piled in a loose bun. Her eyes are green with little sparks that remind me of the lake in summer. She is a physical therapist, I learn later, working with vets to bring bodies back after war broke them. She spots me and smiles, not the plastic nurse smile, but the kind that says she is genuinely glad I am there. "You are Derek, right?" she asks, dropping into the seat next to me. Her voice is soft, but there is strength in it, like a river that runs calm but can rip out trees. "I am Lena. I hear you avoid us like the plague." I shrug, turning the cup in my hands. "I do not like hospitals. Nothing personal." She laughs, and it sounds like the wind chimes on my mom's porch. "This is not a hospital, Derek. This is where we help people come back to themselves. You are not against coming back to yourself, are you?" I look at her, and for the first time in a long time, I feel like someone sees me, not just the soldier. I do not know what to say, so I nod. She stands and offers her hand. "Come on, let us see what is up with your leg." Over the next weeks, I show up every week. Lena works on the leg, the scar healed, but the muscle complains when I stand too long. She is not just a therapist. She listens. She does not pry about the war, does not dig into my head, but when I talk, she nods like she understands more than I am saying. One day, while she needs the thigh, I tell her about Iraq. Not the fights or the blood, about reading Emily's letters under the chop of rotors. She does not interrupt. She watches me with those green eyes, and I realize I can breathe a little easier. You know, she says when we finish, I have worked with vets for 5 years. You all think the past is an anchor dragging you down. Sometimes it is just a load. You can set it down. Not forget, just let it go. I do not answer, but her words get stuck in my head. That night in the trailer, I take out the photo of Emily. I think about the wedding, about the box of letters I left on their gift table. Maybe Lena is right. Maybe I do not have to carry all of this. A month later, I ask Lena to grab coffee. Not because I am chasing anything, because she is the first person I can talk to without feeling broken. We sit in a little diner that smells like bacon and cheap coffee. She tells me about growing up in Montana, about her older brother coming back from Afghanistan without a leg, and how that pushed her into this work. I listen, and for the first time in a long time, I want to do more than listen. I want to speak. "Why did you join the war?" she asks, cupping her mug with both hands. Her eyes meet mine, and I cannot look away. "I thought it was the right thing," I say, my voice low like the truth might crumble. "Thought I was needed. Maybe I was just running from myself." She nods, no judgment. Sometimes we run to find something new, sometimes to understand what we already had. Those words hit harder than I expect. I think of Emily, of Travis, of the letters I left at their wedding. For the first time, there is no pain rising up. There is room. Maybe that is what new air feels like. Another month passes, and I notice the changes. I do not wake with the world crushing my chest. I laugh when Lena teases me about my clumsy stretches. I notice how the sun catches in her hair, how she squints when she laughs. One evening, walking by the river, I take her hand. Not to forget Emily, to remember myself. "Derek," she says, stopping by the water. Her voice is gentle, but carries the kind of strength that makes you listen. "You do not have to be who you were. You can be someone new." I look at her, and in her eyes I see not just the river's reflection, but me, not the soldier, not the betrayed fiancé, just a man who can still live. I squeeze her hand and nod. That night I go back to the trailer and take out Emily's photo. I do not tear it. I do not hide it. I set it in a drawer with the other things that do not define me anymore. The war took a lot. It did not take everything. I am still here, and I am breathing. Hit like, and don't forget to subscribe. The next story will be even more intense. But if you are under 18, don't even think about clicking next.